No, man, this program is intended for a mature audience. If you're not 18 or older, stop listening and find more age-appropriate content. Where are the batteries? This show will cover serious topics in a satirical manner. If you're offended by any content here, that is your own problem. You've been warned. Don't try this at home. Or anywhere else for that matter. Gah!
Fuck her right in the pussy.
Oh, hell no!
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, dearly beloved and sanctimonious assholes, welcome to that... Huh?
Thought it was enslaved assholes.
Sometimes you gotta use a safe word. Welcome back to that late night
I thought that was
excursion
get out of my house.
Let him finish the intro, Kenny.
He's not wrong either. Welcome back to that... I mean, especially if, taxi money or Uber money's already on the table. Welcome back to that late-night culinary excursion that is Midnight Sushi. Also brought to you in part by Resurrection Vapor at resurrectionvapor.com. Lines upon lines of the utterly most fantastic juices, up to and including our very own fan favorite, Hammer Down from the Diesel line, that peanut butter, whatever the fuck it is that Hammer seems to snort.
Main line.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, those marks, bro.
That's atomic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, way to needle that one.
Yeah.
Little
I
cat
get the
hair.
point. I get the point.
Yeah, don't need to plunge right into this one. Yeah, anyways, Resurrection Vapor at resurrectionvapor.com. So, yeah, folks, we just finished up with CEO Centric a little while ago. We've had me, Kenny, and Davia kind of just chatting it up in the Discord chat. And, yeah, it's been getting kind of awesome. Talking about actual hard fucking work. And, it's like, all right, fine. Usually this is the BDSM show, and it's like, well, at the moment, yeah, fuck it. It's getting hard. So, you know what? With me today, of course, we got the Dr. Davia.
Hello, hello.
We've got the great, grand, and gloriously never seen in a mugshot ever, because they don't aim the camera that low, Kenny.
Hell yeah. They always bring a stool out, take my mug shot.
Do they hold your hair up like Rocco and Boondock Saints?
Yeah, once or twice. It depends on how liquored up I am.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, that's holding your hair back for a whole different reason. But anyways, so yeah, and
That's why I like to be on my bed.
Currently wrangling the tiny humans upstairs is the great, grand, and glorious Hammer, the bald wonder himself. So yeah, we're just kind of discussing hard work.
Yeah.
Folks that, it's like they're looking at their kind of industries, and especially some of the newer generations that are getting in that don't quite realize exactly what they're getting into. They're just joining because, it's cheap, it's fast, you get decent money out of it, you get benefits out of it, but they don't realize that shit is earned.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
instant gratification.
Yeah, well, that's not how this works, folks. Shit is earned.
Exactly. Right.
Any idiot, I don't know, I grab a tool pouch and go to any job site and be like, I want $18 an hour. They'll give it to me.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
I tell everybody, I won't get in my pickup for anything under 20. Fuck that. I'll lay in bed all day and jack off. I mean,
Why? God only knows how many girlfriends you got now.
I only got one. I'm an almost honest man.
Almost.
Well, I mean, I'm working on it. I only got one girlfriend now, but
Yeah. Left hand's a thing.
well, there are them days.
Yeah, about 3 to 5 once a month.
But
So,
yeah, I mean, anybody can, but it's when you're on the job site, you can't be a wuss. I mean, God,
right.
I'm gonna throw my head at you. I'm gonna throw my hammer at you. If you can't read a tape measure, you're gonna get your ass streamed. Like, I'm gonna fuck with you hardcore.
Yeah, it's like even in my restaurant, I've ran across folks who don't quite. They're relatively new to the industry. Maybe they've been in it a couple of years, or they just haven't worked at the same kind of restaurants I've worked at, which is fine, great, grand, and glorious. Every restaurant's its own little beast from hell. But there's certain traditions, and not even necessarily traditions, there are just certain things that go on in every single fucking restaurant. It's like, yes, back of house swears like motherfuckers. Yes, there's always that kind of rivalry between back of house and front of house. Yes, they will pick the wrong food. There's shit that goes sideways. Yes, there is stress. Yes, there is burns. Yes, there is cuts. And guess what, Fruit Cup? The dinner rush ain't over yet, so grab a pickle juice, throw it on your burn, wrap your cut in a fucking paper towel, and just start using the other hand. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's not entirely difficult.
You know, though, this is the number one phrase that pisses me off every day.
Kenny, I want a divorce.
Oh, no, I love that. No, hold on. I gotta go get my gloves. Are you fucking kidding me? That's one thing that I get pissed. Oh, wait, let me find my safety glasses. Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Dude, you go to the doctor, they dig the metal out of your eye in like 10 minutes. It's no big deal.
And you get a day off.
Hey, no.
And a reason to go drink.
You don't even need a day off. You wait till your eyes swell shut. After work, a couple of beers, you go on, they dig it out. Next morning, you wake up. Yeah, you go to work, you look kind of funny, but...
Well, it's fine to be safety conscious, but it's like, okay, you have to go find this shit. Dude, if you need something, you have it on you. You have your gloves in your back pocket. If you're not wearing your glasses on your head, you got the stem tucked into your shirt or also in a pocket or your pouch or whatever the fuck you got. You have that shit on hand. You don't... Once the concrete is there, that truck can only sit there for, what, a couple of hours before it hardens in the truck?
No, it's not going to sit there for a couple hours.
No, I mean, worst case scenario.
If that truck sits there for more than 30 minutes, all right, you've already... Say you're running a 1060 batch or 400 batch, right?
Yeah.
All right. So
400, 400 cubic yards of concrete?
No, I'm PSI.
Okay.
But, all right, so that truck's sitting there, and it's spinning, right? Well, you douse it with water. Keep dousing it with water. Keep dousing. You can only dilute the shit for so long.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to come out. You're going to start pouring. Concrete's getting hard. You're not going to be able to strike off. When you start bull floating, everything's on a fuck.
Sorry.
I got to calm down because I'll get worked up about... Yeah, a truck sit there for more than an hour. It ain't... You know what you do? Is you turn that truck around, you send that fucker right back to the plant.
Yeah, otherwise that shit's going to get hard.
Well, then you just think about it. You just ate $1,000. Think about it. A concrete truck holds about... on an average, 8 to 9 yards of concrete. Right? Well, at $150 a yard, all right, and you just sent it, you fucked off and sent it away. You just ate $1,000. Easy.
Right. Wait.
And the customer's not going to pay for your fuck up, so that's coming out of everybody else's pockets.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the same thing fucking happens at work. If my steak isn't medium rare and it's going to a ticket that needs to be medium rare, someone's going to fucking eat that steak if it's medium.
Yeah.
And I've had to deal with folks that have fucking burned shit. And you want to know how I learned not to burn shit?
By getting burned.
That too. And all right, I will admit, my younger days, we made bacon bits by hand. You know, we took a full rasher of bacon, sliced it up, diced it up, threw it in a pan, cooked it down. One particular day, I had let the bottom of the pan get too hot without stirring it, and I burnt just like one layer of the bacon. Okay, and I put it in the pan because I didn't see it, I didn't notice it. My bad. Well, the head chef sure as fuck noticed it, and she made me eat the entire fucking pan.
Excuse me for a minute. Hello?
Yeah.
Kenny, you're still on.
You can mute him.
No, he died.
Well, and the thing is, too, like, if you don't know, if you need to make it your business, what you should be doing, what you should have, and where you need to be, because that 411 avoids the 911, right?
Exactly. And, you know, that's how we learned not to fuck up. It's because you were made to own your shit. It's not entirely difficult. But that's the downside of a lot of folks that I'm working with nowadays. You can't even fucking yell at them properly. Like 2 restaurants ago, the one here in Janesville, Sidelines that I was at.
I remember when you were there.
Yeah. I had just hired a new guy just as the head chef left, just as I became the head chef. And this guy was just fucking around. He was being a dick, and he decided to argue. Of course. And he was being an asshole. And in the middle of a Friday night service, I had called down for 32 fish. He thought I had said 3. It's like 3 fish on a Friday night service? Are you fucking kidding me? And he was like, well, you can't talk to me like that. The fuck I can't. I said drop down 32 fucking fish. If I'm wrong, guess what? I got to take care of that order. If I'm right, you and me are having a conversation. That being said, he threw down the 32 fish. We sold it. We got through service. I sent his ass outside for a break, and I joined him 10 minutes later after the line had calmed down, that brief break in tickets. And I went out and had a conversation with him, and I had 2 options. I could either rip him a new asshole for fucking arguing with me in the middle of a rush, or I could just talk to him and try to get his point of view. I chose the latter path, and the reason he was somewhat arguing was because he's not used to high volume, high end, I need this shit right fucking now, which is fine. I'm like, great, grand, and wonderful. To that end, I tell you to do something, I need you to do it right now. I'm not telling you to do something because I can't do it. I'm telling you to do something because I don't have time to do it myself.
See, that's like, we're like these newer we need brakes. Hey, guess what? Concrete trucks here at 11. All right, we're pouring. Say we're going to pour at 32 yards. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's break. Say we're pouring. 32 yards. That'd be 4 trucks. All right. First truck's here at fucking 11. Mm-hmm. Well, at noon we're not going to stop pouring concrete, so you can go eat lunch and talk to your old lady or whatever. You pour all them trucks at once. You can't stop concrete.
Yeah, it has a certain time. Just like, food in the window has to be out at a certain time. Shit has to cook at a certain time. You don't have time for that shit. Like at my previous restaurant, Gray's in Madison, okay, when we got in, we had an hour to set up. Mind you, at that same hour, the previous shift is tearing down and cleaning down. So you had to work with them, around them. You had to work together to get your shit set up for your shift. Because every shift started out clean and empty. That way, no cross-contamination, no worried about shit breaking down or anything like that. Fine. And then, at, say, around 4 o'clock, because all of us got in at 2, you would have comida, where everybody goes and gets something to eat, because we all make a giant family meal. That's where we have our discussion of what's going on that day, what's new, what's changed, what are we running low on, what are we going to try to push because it's 3 days from going bad, that sort of shit. Fine. But then from there till close, it's dinner service.
Right.
You pretty much have from X amount of time till 4 o'clock to get whatever you need to do done. If you need a cigarette break, that's your time. You just better make sure your shit. You just better damn well make sure your shit's taken care of first.
Well, it's just
because if you come back to the line and it's like, oh, chef, I forgot to tell you I'm out of this, your ass is getting owned.
Yeah.
That happened.
Well, it's like everybody don't understand at work. All right. Like this company I'm contracted to right now, subcontracted to, right? They start at 7. Well, the superintendent, Mike, for the company says show up at 6:45. And everybody's like, why? Because I'm going to tell you what the fuck's going on today. Well, we don't have to start till 7. Like, it don't matter. I'm at the job site every day at 6:30. By the latest, 6:35. And that's after I wake up, get my kids ready for school, drop them off at the babysitters, and haul ass to the job site. I'm the first one on job site every day because I walk around, I look, all right, we got to brace this, we got to shoot that, this needs elevation here.
Yeah, you get there early to prep for your shift, to get shit ready because, once that clock hits, it's game time, and you don't have time to stop.
And I'm kind of a dick about, and then that's another thing that pisses me off at work. People agree, oh, hey, cut this 2x4. you know. Well, then they want to set it down on a fucking sawhorse or something, or wheelbarrows, you know. Grab the fucker, grab the skill saw, zip it.
Move on.
I don't want to cut my leg. You're not. I mean, well, you might if you're an idiot. Just quit being a jackass, cut the fucking 2x4. You don't have to run it across the fucking parking lot, set it on something.
Yeah, it's like you set it down, you prop it up on a couple of bricks, you mark off where you need to cut, you make it relatively safe, or safe enough that you're not going to fucking jack your shit up.
Well, I don't know. I just grab 2x4s, and I grab a 2x4 in one hand, I grab a skill saw in the other hand, and I zip it wherever I need it. You know?
Yes.
But that's just how I am. I mean,
in either way, I mean, granted, you're skilled enough to do that. I've seen your scars. You've learned from them. There are folks who are not.
I can honestly say I've only nicked myself one time, and it didn't even break the skin with the skill saw. And I still have all my digits.
That in and of itself I'm impressed by.
And I've been doing... That's just how I cut, you know, just grab it, zip it.
Yeah. It's like in a fucking kitchen. I can handle just about any knife we got. I can cut just about anything we need to. You know, it's like, yeah, I have plenty of fucking scars on my hands from being cut. I got one.
Do too.
I got one where I took a fucking cleaver all the way down to the bone, and they're like, "Oh my god, you need stitches." I was like, "No, I don't. I'm good."
I've ripped fingers off my hand, like this finger. I've ripped this fucker to where it was just hanging on by skin. I had to go to the doctor. They put pins in it, fucking sew it up, back to work.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and it's important, you know. Like you should know what doing, and you need to be prepared, because especially on any kind of job site, like, this thing is only as good as the lackiest person.
Yeah, I don't know. It's getting hard to work with people these days.
Yeah, and
I mean,
it's like, all right, it's me, my roommate, one other guy, and basically the three of us are the best chefs they've got. And now, mind you, the other guy, he's our closer 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday. All right, that's just what he does, which is fine. It gives all of us more or less a night off. Or we can be early out, so we're just not the ones closing. Because closing every fucking night of your week sucks. You know, it gets, none of us mind it. It drags, right? But for a while, him and I didn't quite get along, just because he kind of always had this chip on his shoulder where it's like, okay, he's been in the industry for a millennia and a half. He thinks he knows more than everyone else, or at least he thinks no one else knows as much as he does. And it's like one particular day, it's like, look, and he's telling me, it's like, look, I know you know how to work with these guys, and, you know, they do shit a different way than I do. It's like, no, that's not the point. The point is it's communication. You tell me what you need, I get it done. Or if I need something, I call it out to you, and you get it done. That's just the way everything works in our industry. And under his breath, he's like, and in Spanish, he goes, try communicating in Spanish. So for the rest of the shift, I did. Because it's like a restaurant industry, you kind of learn more than one language. Or at least you fucking should.
Well, it's just like...
And, you know, it's like from that point on, he kind of had a little bit of better respect for me. And then one particular day, we knew we were going to get a busted-ass service. Because we had 320 tops booked for that day. We're like, great. So my roommate wound up staying late that shift just because, one, he loves working an insane amount of hours. Two... He gets paid $4 more an hour than I do, and, you know, overtime's a thing. And he saw what it's like for me and him to work together, and he's like, oh, these guys don't fuck around. It's like, no.
Well, like, go grab my belt out of my pickup, all right? My work belt, because I have to pound concrete pins in.
Yeah.
All right. My tool, I have 2 bags that I wear, one on each side of my hip.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I have a 32-ounce hammer that I wear.
Yep.
Plus, because I have to beat concrete pins in, I also carry a 8-pound sledgehammer on my tool belt.
Yeah.
My tool belt weighs about 30 to 32 pounds, and I carry that for 8 to 16 hours a day.
Right. It's like, at a previous restaurant, we had 3 flights of stairs to go up to get from dry storage to the kitchen, right? And we had 100-pound bags of flour just because we would plow through that shit like a motherfucker. Because we made all of our bread fresh. We just did all this shit. And, I had to run down and get it. And someone's like, you want a hand? I'm like, fuck that. I took 3 bags of flour, stacked it up on a shoulder, and ran up the stairs.
Yeah.
And then I got up to the top, and I'm like, oh, that's 300 pounds. Cool.
And that's like, I think my hips wearing out, because my hips were replaced in 05. I think they're wearing out because it does give me a little bit problems now, But, I mean, I'm wearing 30 pounds around my waist, and I'm carrying a 140-pound form all day long. And you got these young bucks. Hey, where's your sledgehammer to pound pins? Oh, it's over there. Oh, are you fucking kidding me?
How good is it going to do there?
Right? It's like you have that shit on you on it. It's like
Well, just like wire, all right? Well,
yeah.
If you look at my tool belt, there's wire. I got 16 penny nails. I got 8 penny nails. I got screws. I got my drill. I got impact. I got all that stuff on my belt. You know why? Because when I'm doing something, I don't want to walk halfway across the goddamn parking lot or the job site to get it.
Well, it's like my mentor. His particular job, he left working on the line just because, he's been in the industry fucking forever and he didn't want to do it anymore. So he'd actually like a somewhat normal schedule. So he got a job as a porter. For all intents and purposes, he's the lead porter for the entire food group, right? And for him, because he has to travel all over the place, he has to go from restaurant to restaurant to restaurant. He has to go to other businesses to pick up shit for the restaurants. It behooves him to have his office on his belt all the fucking time. So he modified fucking construction worker tool belts to be able to hold everything he needs. Everything from knives, hammers, tape measures, thermometers, laser thermometers, pens, markers, everything he needs on him all day long.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm at this point in my career, I'm thinking that may not necessarily be a bad idea. Just because it's useful to have that shit on you within reach all the time instead of having to wander over. It's like, oh, I need this. It's like, fuck that. You don't have time.
It's just like, at work, I mean, I could nail, like concrete pin into a 2x4, right? We run 8 penny nails. I could reach into my bag without looking and grab an 8 penny. All right, now I need a 16 penny because we're setting these two forms together. I could reach into my bag without looking and grab a 16 penny nail.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, okay, now I need a screw. It's right here. I mean, I carry everything. I mean,
you're prepared, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
And that's just kind of the long and short of it. It's like,
the only thing I got to chase is my hammer. Because sometimes I get really pissed off. I'm not going to, I got to chase my hard hat. Hard hat and hammer are the only two things I got to chase. Because sometimes I get really pissed off and I fling my hard hat at people. Sometimes I get really pissed off and I fling my hammer at people. But that's what gets me kicked off of job sites. But I'm old school. I mean, like...
Yeah, it's like I've worked with chefs that throw pots and pans. They fucking throw food. It's like one of my first chefs, she would just throw everything. It's like my very last day, she threw a 50-pound box of French fries and nailed me in the nuts. No.
Well, like
that's not the thing that actually pissed me off. The thing that pissed me off was she punched me in the face twice. So it's
like this Dale, the guy that this job, this company I'm working for right now until I get another offer. I mean, he's one of the foremen. He fucking flung his hard head at me. I fucking flung my hammer at him. Like, we butted heads at first.
Mm-hmm.
We did, and he's 54. I'm fucking 34. But we hit heads pretty hard on, I'd rather work with him every day than anybody else on the job site. And he tells everybody the same thing, because we're old school, I mean. Me and him throw shit at each other, but at the end of the day, we'll go sit at the bar and buy each other drinks and have a good time.
Exactly, and that's kind of the way that high-pressure situations work. It's like, yes, while you're working, shit's high-tempered, high-pressure, high everything, because shit needs to get done.
Well, that was like
then at the end of the day, it's like, all right, you have your conversation, you have a couple beers, everybody's good. It's like you don't take that shit personally, you let it go.
Exactly. That was the first 2 to 3 days that we worked together. We hit heads hard. I was pretty pissed, like, dude, I'll fucking beat your ass in the parking lot, kind of pissed off, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now he'll be like, we'll show up on the job site, right? I'll show up. He shows up. He's like, all right, Kenny, here's the, what we got to pour and whatnot. And I'm like, all right. Then he'll turn around and he'll tell all these fucking grunts, like, hey, whatever Kenny says goes.
Right.
And me and him, now we become pretty good friends, actually, like. But.
Well, it's like, I had a battle buddy that worked next to me. Him and I, he only worked saute station. I switched between fryer, plancha, saute, and garde-manger, the cold apps, salads, shit like that. All right. Also called garmo, right? I was the all-around guy, basically. Okay. And I'm working next to him. I'm on garmo, he's on saute. And, we're in the middle of a rush, and it's honest, for me, that kind of a rush is fun. I love that challenge. I love that pressure. That's what keeps me coming back to cooking again and again and again. Because, honestly, I can't find that kind of high anywhere. And I run this network. I've tried. Well, help run. Sorry, Hammer. It's like one day, we're in the middle of a rush, we're getting pounded. And it's like a brief break in the rush. I'm like, dude, this is fun. He's like, oh, you think this is fun? It's like, yeah. Well, how about we switch? And I'm like, okay, fine. So he knew down the way that we had a 12 top coming in. So I'm fucking cooking through the rush. I cooked through the 12 top. It was an ass kicker, but whatever. Pounded out, punched through. Food was perfect. Chef gave me a compliment. So it's like, yay. And he's like, so you like talking? And I'm like, every once in a while. I mean, I kind of help run a podcast network. And it's like, no, that's not what I mean. You calling this fun? It's like, yeah, it's because it is. Right. My idea of fun isn't like going out to fucking Disneyland. It's not a nice cold day or a brisk day going snow skiing. No, that's not my idea of fun. My idea of fun is busting my ass off against near impossible odds. It's like, okay, guess what? You just fed 400 people in 2 hours. Okay.
Like me, that's like with concrete, all right? Hey, it's gonna rain at noon. All right, well, we're going to pour this fucking 30 yards of concrete. And then we'll pour it, finish it, seam it, and tarp it before noon. And, they're like, well, that's why I'm pissed off right now, because, like, this company I'm contracted to, they called 2 rain days, so I'm off today and I'm off tomorrow. I'm like, just fucking. I could have went and stripped walls today.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh. That's another reason why they hired me, because besides the superintendent, Mike, and me, no one else knows how to build concrete walls.
Right.
It's not that difficult.
No, like they don't know how to.
It's a skill set, but it's not that difficult. I mean, I know how to do it.
They don't know how to shoot the footings. They don't know how to run the rebar. They don't have an experience. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what's the biggest wall. I've done 32-foot walls. I mean, poured.
Yeah, I've biggest wall I ever did was like a 45-foot retaining wall.
Yeah, full concrete, but
yeah, well, it had 2 layers. It had a set layer of concrete that was 45 feet, but then it had a stone fascia in front of it.
Yeah,
that was basically all pavers. It was a friend of a relative of my mother's. He just bought a brand new house, but had a big old fucking hill, and he didn't want his kids and he had a staircase that went down the hill for kind of a flat plateau area that he had set up, because he brought in a truck, leveled out the land, but he didn't want the kids to go just plain rolling down the hill. He wanted to force the kids to actually use the stairs. And he's like, and my mom is an engineer. She knows how to do this shit. So, and I'm there because I was 14 and child labor is a thing.
No, I know, like, when we build our walls, for, like, apartment complexes and everything, I can look, say, all right, that number 5 bar is too short, run it up another 1.5 inches. I mean, I don't have no education at all, really.
Well, that's all shit you learn over time.
Yeah,
it's like you have a mentor, essentially, and they show you what to do. It's like in the culinary industry, there's 2 schools of learning how to cook. You either go to college and you learn the technical side of things, but you may not necessarily get the real life experience, or you go into the restaurant industry and you essentially do an apprenticeship where you learn under whatever the hell it takes you to learn, and you learn the technical skills in real life. And both have positives and negatives, it's whatever. And neither one is wrong, it's just how you learn.
Well, like, with me, I'll tell people, hey, the fucker's about an inch and a half off. No, what do you mean? Because they look down, no, what do you mean? Look at that fucking line. It's an inch off at the other end. No, it's not. All right, let's run a string line. Fucking measure it. Oh, yeah, it's an inch off. That's what I fucking told you. I can see, like...
You learn that you can eyeball that shit. That shit comes with experience. Like, I can look at a grill, and I can pretty much tell you the doneness of everything on that fucking grill.
I can look at a fucking concrete slab and tell you, that's a 3-to-1 fucking slope. Yeah. What do you mean? For every 3 feet, it's on drop an inch.
Mm-hmm. It's like, I can listen to a line of cooks that are working, just a full brigade that's working, and I can tell you what station's dragging. I can tell you who needs to help who. I can tell you who's getting slammed. I can tell you what needs to be prepped just by listening to what's being called. Listening to everyone call and answer, listening to everything. You learn that shit as you go along. It's like, to me, that's the kind of shit you can't pick up in school. Do some schools have kind of a restaurant experience? Yeah, there's one in Madison, MATC, that actually runs a restaurant from their culinary school, which is great. They get some real life experience.
See, like, you know what I think we need to quit doing? And, like, again, I'm old school. We need to quit giving kids, like, grants to go to school for college and shit. We should cut back that and give them trade school. Hey, fucking, well, you want to be a welder? I mean, I'm a certified welder.
Well, see, this was the thing. This was like one of the last...
can't get... No, this is no joke. You can't get a scholarship to be a welder.
Right. Well, this was like one of the things...
You can't get a scholarship to be a carpenter.
Well, this is why, like, the whole free college thing, I agree with that, but it needs to apply to all forms of higher education, not just go and get a liberal arts degree. No, it needs to apply to everything.
I'm going to be an art major. Well, yeah, you and 90 other fucking people in this world,
Well, and that's been my biggest argument, for argument's sake, is, when it comes to medicine and therapy, any of those sort of vocations, right? It's not just an occupation, it's a vocation.
Right.
They really need to open that up. First, I can go to med school, and, now it's getting really cheap where you can go to a med school based out of Jamaica, air quote. They have campus locations like in Chicago and Texas and everything. And you're learning anatomy and phys, not on a real human body, but on a fucking computer screen. Yeah, and I'm like, that's for a horrible practice, a horrible medical practice.
Exactly.
But if you open back up apprenticeship, it not only would we get the doctors, nurses, surgeons, various types of even dentists, things like that our country needs, so we quit asking the Philippines and stuff like that to ship us over their people. Mm-hmm. It would fill those shortages. Like, fuck free college sometimes. It's like, have these vocations open up and have apprenticeships happening.
Well, it's like something I've pressed in every restaurant I've worked at. It's that in the every culinary course I have ever come across actually has a externship. Not necessarily an internship, but an externship where we will, where for like a semester or at least a couple of months, we will ship you out to whatever restaurant. And I have told every fucking restaurant that has a college with a culinary course nearby, it's like, look, we need to bring these kids in, or at least advertise that we're looking for these guys. One, we can hire them cheap. Two, because, they're in school and they fucking need money. So, go fuck your couch. 2, they're going to learn something while they're here. 3, it counts as an externship. It counts as what they need for the culinary course. They can pick up the little shit. They can do the grunt work because they need to learn this shit too. At that same time, just like a mentorship, just like an apprenticeship, you learn the ins and outs of what you need to do. And in that process, we also get to gauge you. And if you're good enough, shit, I might just hire you onto the line and give you a $4 raise.
Right. That's just like...
It's
That's what I'm going through right now with the company and my I don't know, representative or whatever you want, and the company that I'm subcontracted to. Mm-hmm. They want to hire me. We got a contract, so I can't just jump. You know what I mean?
You have to fulfill the contract, and then you can.
But I understand. But see, the problem is, like, everybody says work smarter, not harder. To me, that's a bullshit fucking lie. You know why? If you don't work hard...
Both need to go hand in hand. That's the thing.
You work your ass off, right? Mm-hmm. And then once you learn all the trades... Don't get me wrong, I cheat shit. That's, you'll cheat here and here, right? Mm-hmm. But that's it, working smarter. But you got to work hard... So you can work, you work smarter, not harder.
You work hard to learn to work smart.
Yeah.
It's like you bust your ass off, you make the mistakes, you learn from the fucking mistakes to learn what you can do, to learn the ins and outs, to learn the way to make things easy. All right, yes, there are 1.5 billion ways to dice a fucking onion. Guess what? There's a really fucking fast way to make really accurate tiny cuts that make it just turbo fucking fast that I learned just 2 years ago.
Well,
I've been at this for 12 fucking years.
I've been doing concrete since I was 11. This is no joke. I mean, I've been doing concrete since I was 11. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I learn shit every day.
Yeah, I still fucking learn shit all the time in the culinary industry. It's like Davey and I were talking earlier before we were graced by, the tiny shadow that is Kenny.
I wouldn't call it graced.
Well...
I'm gonna raid Gary's fridge.
If anything from it's right over there. If anything from the last show where we might become the Church of the Bad Habit happens, you might just be Saint Kenny. Saint Kenny, the patron saint of safety meetings.
I might have got. I don't remember that show too much. I was a little intoxicated.
Yeah, that happens. But anyways, it's like we learned this shit along the way. It's like like Davey and I were talking about things that can help make industry life easier. One of the programs that my previous restaurant used that I was actually, oh my fucking God, why the fuck haven't I seen this shit before? It's a different type of point of sale system where it even allows managers to update the menu from their phone.
You know where I think a lot of shit went wrong? I mean, this is just me thinking out loud, but parents shouldn't say, like, hey, do you want to end up like me? You know what? I tell my daughters, hey, you want to do concrete? I'll take it. And my daughters have been to job sites. My oldest daughter has helped me strike off sidewalks before. Mm-hmm. All right? And she's helped me bull float. That's hard. I mean, when you're 8 years old and you're pulling concrete back with the 2x4. Mm-hmm. I mean, but you know what? I don't tell them, you don't want to end up like me. I mean, to a certain extent, I mean, I don't want my daughters to be an alcoholic or nothing.
Well, it's like the way that I think about that phrase. It's if you take it literally, like you just said, I don't want you to end up like me. That means I want you to have an easier life, and it's not easier life like you need an absolutely cushy job. You need to sit back, rake in millions, and not do shit. No, like I taught my son.
I don't want my girls to be an alcoholic. I'm an alcoholic, but
no, you don't. You don't go to meetings.
All right, yeah,
you come to podcasts.
But anyways, what I mean though is like I tell my daughter, like, hey, if you guys want to do it, I'll teach you. And the girls, they know how to set pins. They know how to. My daughter can read a laser and shoot grades. This no shit. Jersey's 11 years old. She can shoot a grade like there's no tomorrow.
Right. It's like my son wanted to learn. I was a chef at the time, and he wanted to learn how to cook like I do. So I got permission from the restaurant owner to actually bring my son in and help us with prep because we had a big fucking order coming in. So I sat him down with 3 empty pots, and I had him fucking peel potatoes for 8 hours straight.
Oh, yeah.
And, one day he actually bitched to me. He's like, Dad, this isn't cooking. And it's like, the fuck it isn't. I've done this before. This is the bare beginning of it. Because guess what? You're peeling potatoes because I have to make 3 different fucking soups. I got to make twice baked potatoes. I got to make 30 pounds of mashed potatoes. You're doing this shit because I'm doing an insane amount of prep next to you. I'm not having you do this because
it's a first to the next.
Exactly. Everything has a step.
It's like walking up the stairs.
Right. And he kind of had an understanding of it's like, oh, okay.
My girls know.
Well, when can I learn how to do roasts and shit like you do? It's like when you get done peeling those potatoes because the roast got to go in the oven after you're done.
It's just sweet. The girls have watched me. I'll go out there. I'll tear a sidewalk out. Say someone's sidewalk's all fucked up in front of their house.
Yeah.
I'll tear it out. I'll sit there. The girls will watch me farm it, get it prepped and everything. And I let them help me. Granted, I'm not going to lie, it's fucked me a time or two. To where hey, we got to put a seam in, for your expansion seams. Dad, I want to do it. All right. Well, instead of being a straight line, now it looks like a fucking snake ran through it. So then I got to grab my knee pads and fucking grab my boards, jump back out there, pack it all back in and redo it. But you know what? I don't yell at them. I redo it. And, all right, hey, hon, you got to do it straight. Then that's when I'll shoot a chalk line across there. And I'll tell them, follow the blue line. Don't move. Just follow the blue line. I mean, I don't want my girls to, you want
everything to be possible for them.
Yeah.
You handicap them because they're girls.
Yeah.
Whatever they want, you're there, you're supportive, and you're showing them the way. And I think that's where there was a huge problem, the things that we've discussed, and dealing with Generation Z. The whining, complaining, demanding, me. I know everything. They're so self-involved that they don't understand that, there are, you have to earn your stripes.
Right. And that's what I'm trying to teach my girls. I mean,
right?
like I said, I don't want my girls to end up like me, and but I mean it in a different way,
No, I totally understand that. And the thing is by showing, that there are possibilities open to them and not limiting them. They're picking up your work ethic.
Yeah, all 3 of my daughters have been in a D8 dozer.
Well, it's like
they've been in excavators, they've been in dump trucks, they've been in everything because that's just my life,
Well, it's like my son. I did expose him to the culinary industry. He did learn kind of some of the ins and outs of what we do, and right now he could pretty competently cook for a dinner or for a family, a 10 top pretty easily, just if he had a decent amount of prep time, which is cool. And he decided he didn't want to do that for a living. He's now going to be a special ed teacher and counselor because at that,
switch to feed himself.
Right.
Himself well.
Yeah, and it's like there are things you need to learn in life. There are lessons that need to be learned, and part of that is learning to work hard. That even in somewhat elsewise easy industries, there's definitely hard work, and there's hard work to be had. Like my stepmother, she's in charge of mental health and addictions for one of the hospital groups around here. I can't remember exactly. To that end, she has an inbox north of 1,000 emails every fucking day, and she can only plow through maybe 700 of them, just by virtue of the amount of time that she has to put in.
Right.
That being said, that's her hard work. It's like, all right, is it that physically demanding to sit on your ass and type out an email? Not necessarily. Is it difficult to have to know every single bit of insurance code? Is it difficult to know who you're talking to, how to problem solve, how to handle? Well, she can.
She can't. See, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, that's a different,
that's a different form of hard work, but she loves it.
That's
She's not afraid of it.
See, I'm a physical laborer. I'm not a mental laborer.
Well, that's one reason I love the culinary industry. It's kind of both.
Yeah, I mean, I could do numbers in my head all day long. I could tell you, like, we could do something. I'll be like, oh, it's this and that and that. All right, this is how much concrete we need, or it's this and that and that. All right, this is how much rock we need, or But yeah, as far as sitting in front of a computer thing, I'll piss it. Well, fuck this. I'll knock some bitch out the window and grab a beer and kick rocks.
Well, it's like we have a bacon blue mushroom burger at the restaurant I'm at now, which is actually pretty good. It's tasty. I've had it. Had a customer come in. They ordered the burger, no blue cheese, no mushrooms. And now in my head, I'm thinking it's like, so just order a bacon cheeseburger.
Right.
All right. But at the other end of the scale, I'm thinking about it. It's like, and I even get the server. It's like, do me a favor, check with them to see if they have a fungus allergy or some kind of allergy.
Right.
And sure enough, they do. It's like, okay. They didn't tell the server that just because they figured, okay, restaurant will be clean. But at the same time, it's like it's an
allergy.
That's a thing. If I just had to cut open a sandwich that had blue cheese on it on my cutting board, yeah, I wipe it off with bleach. But at the same time, something may still be there.
Right.
Or it might be in the pan, or it might be on the grill, or whatever. It's like, oh, guess what? They have an allergy. That means we have to enact an allergy protocol, which all restaurants have. You clean a section of the grill, you cook it separately, everything. And it's like, had I not had the experience of dealing with people with just different kind of allergies, I probably wouldn't have spotted that.
See, and that's like, I can't, like, I'm the guy the kind of guy that I'll shoot squirrels out of the tree and throw them up on a grill and fry them up. Mm-hmm. I'm not, see, I can't, that's what I'm saying. I respect all the work you do because I'm not a chef or nothing,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a hillbilly.
Yeah, it's like
I
can shoot
and throw them in there and fucking pot of beans and some ham hocks. Go to work, come home, fry up some potatoes and cornbread. And that's dinner to me,
Well, and see, that's the thing. To me, that's awesome. I wouldn't do it out of a can, though. It's like, I know in the back of my head, it's like, I know how to do all that shit from scratch.
Right.
It's like, I also can go
me,
to a tree, gut up one of our squirrels, because a Wisconsin squirrel can feed a family of 4, because they're fucking huge. It's like, I know how to do all that shit from scratch, and honestly, I would, because that shit sounds awesome. And
I hate scroll brains, it's the best. Oh. Yeah, I love scroll brains.
I've never been that fond of I'll still eat it. I've just never been that fond of eating organ meat. I'll still have it on a menu.
No, I gut them and everything. But you leave the brain in the skull and you throw it in a pot of beans. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's good. It's tasty.
What's up, brother?
Holy shit, we were just temporarily...
Dude, you ain't got your sister's jeans on.
Yeah, that's his work pants.
Oh.
Yeah, he can't fit Cody's glorious jeans.
I just like fucking with him.
I know. I love it.
But, all right, well, like we were talking about, raising kids. Hey, can your kid read tape measure?
Yes.
Ida, I'll tell her, hey, go mark this 2x4 at 6 1/4. She'll mark it. She's 6 years old.
Yeah.
She plays with tape measures all day because that's important.
Back when I was married, my son was like 8 years old, or either 6 or 8 years old at the time. I can't remember. But I wanted a new grill set up outside. And my now ex-wife at the time, she's full contractor. She has every sort of fucking degree and certification and the real life experience to have used that shit. So she decided she wanted to build it. And I'm like, okay. So I drew up what I wanted, gave it to her, and she took our son and they built it together.
That's
and
cool.
It was awesome. And then I taught him how to cook on it, because I'll be goddamned if I'm going to be the only one grilling on that damn thing. Even though I was, because it's my fucking grill and I love it.
It don't matter to me. It's just, you know what? No one's just... It's old school. No one runs like old school no more. Ain't that right, Johnny?
Right?
I know.
And I think for me, like the way that
He's on a phone call.
It's so important to be really aware of what you're good at, and also aware of what, like, clearly the things you shouldn't be doing, and then, be in a position to be willing to collaborate.
I'm kind of a dying breed because, I grew up in the old school, like...
Well, old school is a dying breed, but that's why we still need... It's like you said earlier, when you said, I don't want my children to end up like me. Part of that is that...
I don't want them to be drunks, but I want them to know how to work their ass off. And something I instilled in my son, I want my son to know and be willing to work hard.
I want him to already have learned from my mistakes.
Right.
And not in such a way like, okay, I don't want him to have to realize what it's like to have a well-done steak when it needed to be medium rare when you're in the middle of a dinner rush.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm not technology smart at all. Honestly, I ain't.
Right.
You gotta have that shit now. Like, people will send me, hey, fill out this job application. All right. Where's the fucking paper? Well, you gotta do it online. Well, guess what? Kick rocks. I want a paycheck. Hey, what's your bank account number? I ain't got a bank account. Can I just come pick up my check? Well, we don't do paper checks no more. Well, then fuck you. I'll go somewhere else.
Right. Well, and that's okay, though. I think, for me, like, as we're having these conversations, feedback and things like that, for me, when you say executive concierge therapy services, like, beyond the therapy part is... knowing the perspective that where everybody is coming from and saying, like, what are things that could be plugged in to assist the areas that you suck at, right? Like, so it relieves it from being a burden for you.
Right, that's why... that's why I don't deal with paperwork.
That's like...
I take a picture of my time card, send it. Mm-hmm. What do you mean, email? Bing, text, fucker. I don't even know how to, like, I hit the speakerphone when I text anybody. I hit the little speaker, I talk to it, and hit send.
Okay.
Voice to text is a wonderful thing. I use it all the time.
Yeah.
It's nothing for me to click a button on my headset, say, text hammer, I'll be there in 20.
You know what my favorite thing to do at work is, like, when we order concrete, this is my favorite thing to do at work. I'll be like, all right, we're doing this approach at the brand new Holiday Inn. It's an approach and a partial sidewalk coming out of the entrance. And I got the measurements, and I'll sit there and everybody will grab their fucking phones. We got, it's 10 by 8, this and that. And we got 6 over here. It's 4 inches deep, Hey, order 9 yards of concrete. Well, my phone says 8. That's right.
And you want 9 because one, you're going to have to put up with mistakes. You're going to have to put up with changes.
No, you're going to vibrate it.
Yeah.
All right, once you vibrate concrete, it's on a sink. The cream's on, come to the top. Guess what? Throw some more in there. That half a yard makes a big difference.
Exactly.
I do that shit in my head. I can't read and write, but I can do numbers all day long.
Right.
It's not difficult.
No, it's not.
It's like my son already knows how to put in a fucking... And that was like some of the cross-business usefulness. It's like I had already taught my son how to do books. Right. How to do budgeting, how to do... For all intents and purposes, it's food orders, but at the same time, it's orders that can go for any business. It's like, because you need to be able to order a fucking...
You're good with numbers, right? What's a yard?
God, fuck, I'm not good with numbers.
36 inches, 3 feet, etc.
Yeah. What so a cubic yard is 3 by 3.
3 by 3 by 3. Actually.
Yeah, actually it's 3 by 3 by 4 for concrete.
Yeah, because you have to order that extra yard.
No, it's because your average sidewalk is 4 inches thick.
So you just said a cubic yard. You didn't say a cubic yard of concrete.
Oh yeah, well, you got me on that one. But so yeah, it's 3 by 3.
2.1 miles.
People I can do that shit in my head, like, where people be like, oh, we're pouring this, we're pouring that. All right, well, measure it out.
Right.
Shoot, my kid stayed home from school one day, and it's like, oh, you thought you were on vacation. No, grab that vacuum, son, you get to work. Mm-hmm. And he vacuumed out this, my younger son, started vacuuming out this van for me. I'm like, yep, you're doing good. And as I'm wiping it down, I'm just keeping an eye on him. Yeah, he worked. It's like you ain't on vacation when you stay home sick.
See, my daughter's the same way. My youngest daughter, and
Well, it's
I
like,
did the same thing but different, like, all right, well, guess what? I make her drag around my hammer. It's 8 pounds. Drag her. Hey, go get my hammer. All right, go get a pen.
Go get my hard hat.
No, I let her wear my hard hat. And then, that's another thing. Get kicked off of job sites if you don't have a hard hat. Or if you... Hey, you cannot, karate chop a hard hat across a job site. They get kicked out. That's what I mean. Everything's a pussy thing now.
well, to that end, it's like some things are safety requirements, which I can understand. It's like, OSHA requirements and health requirements for restaurants and cleaning requirements, they change throughout the years, in efforts to get better, which I understand, and we do have to keep up with that. It's annoying because that's not the way we were taught we were younger, but
I have my OSHA 10, I have my OSHA 30, I have my MSHA, I have all these certifications.
Mm-hmm.
I got 22 I lied. I got 20 certifications.
I was about to say, you've had 22 surgeries.
Yeah, I have 20 certifications that I can go out to my pickup and hand you.
Right.
Because email me. Well, fuck, I'll just take a picture and send it to you.
Well, it's like me. I think I have OSHA 10. I have HAACP. I have ServSafe. I have all of mine are cooking certs,
welder.
but
I'm a certified welder. I'm an ASC certified mechanic in brake suspension. I'm a certified mechanic in air conditioning and cooling. I mean, I got all that shit.
Right. And
I'm a certified operator. I'm a certified...
we get it. Your portfolio's taller than you are.
That's why I sit on it to drive to work. It's
Exactly.
like silver steering wheel.
That's why it's in his truck. You see, multitasking, folks. But it's like...
Well, I'm just an idiot. I have a third-grade education. Anybody could go take a test.
Well, it's like when I was a kid, when I got sick, my parents, they instilled in me that if you're too sick to do something, you're too sick to watch TV, you're too sick to play with toys, you're too sick to read books, you're too sick to go outside, you're too sick to go to the store with us, you're too sick to do anything except lay in bed.
Yeah.
And the reason for that, it's because they are instilling in you that you need to understand when it's just a minor cold or an inconvenience and when you're legit fucking sick. Because if you're that sick that you can't do something, you need to go to the fucking doctor. You need to get that shit.
I puke blood on a job site every day, every other day. I puke blood almost every day. But guess what? I go there, I do it, then you just kick dirt over it and fucking keep working.
Spray a little brake clean on it.
No, you don't even have to. I mean, you're just puking it.
Brake cleaner fixes everything.
Yeah, it does. That's like peroxide to me. Mm-hmm. There's brake cleaner in my pickup. I mean, if I cut my hand, I'd spray it brake cleaner, pack it full of mud or concrete or whatever. It just
bleach for me. That's only because we don't have...
brake cleaner and carb cleaner, dude. They'll kill AIDS if you fucking soak it enough.
I don't want to find out.
I'm just saying. I mean, that's old hillbilly
I'm
shit.
curious, but nowhere near enough to even test the results. Speaking of which, that's why I have my doctor's appointment next week, but that's anyways. No, I got to get a panel done. But hey, I'm kinky. I fuck around a lot, so yeah, that shit's important.
Well, every 3 months I got to go on because of my heart, and I got to do blood work. I tell them everything. Run the shit through.
Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, you're in there. You were lucky enough to find a vein. Just take out enough for everything I need done.
That's what I do.
Well, we only need these 2 vials. I don't fucking care. Here's what you're going to do.
I've never had any kind of disease or anything.
Neither have I. But, I mean, for the exception of, MRSA, but whatever.
Well, I shouldn't say, I have heart disease and all that bullshit, but as far as, sexual shit, I've never had nothing.
But, it's the same thing, though. It's like, if you're too sick to be able to do hard work, you need to get your shit taken care of, then get your ass back to the job. It's like you need to understand where that limit is of it's a minor inconvenience to...
I've been on job sites where I've been puking, and the fucking superintendent will come over and say, Kenny, come here. We'll walk out to his truck, and he'll hand me a fucking beer. I'll drink 2 beers with him, and then I'm done puking. We'll smoke a cigarette, and we're good.
Mm-hmm. Like, I've admittedly, yes, you're not supposed to in the restaurant industry, but I've gone to work sick where, I've had a stomach flu where I can't keep anything down. It's like, do I make sure I wash up before I get back to the line? Yeah. Beyond that, just get fucking back to work. Have I had days where I can't go into work? Yeah, I had a fucking virus that attacked my fucking heart. Now, did the doc say you need to stay out of work for X amount of days? Yes. Did I do those days? Yes. Was I there? Yes, I did, actually. But to that end, I was there as soon as I had already, my first priority was call work, let them know exactly what the doc said, make sure they had the paperwork sent over, and got that shit handled, and made sure that everything else was okay, that everything else was done. When I dislocated my knee for the first time, I still cooked for 12 hours before my wife had to come in and drag me out by my collar because I didn't have anyone there yet to cover my shit. The manager had to come on and cook the line, and I was giving her instructions and calling the wheel from my phone on the way to the hospital.
I understand, like, I had to lay in bed after having my 17th and 18th surgery, like, an appointment's an appointment. So, just, have the session while I'm in bed, and taking, if I have to put in notes or whatever, like, you just keep working, you work around it,
Mm-hmm. You work around it, you work with it, you get shit done, and you move on. It's not difficult. It's hard, but it's not difficult.
Right.
So.
And I think that's the other thing, too, like, where, a lot of people would be like, why, if you want to redo your house, why don't you just hire it? It's like, no, I actually want to learn how to lay flooring, lay concrete, like, have some, purposeful things put into the home because they make logical sense.
All right, Doc, we're at about an hour right now, so we're actually gonna. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
We're gonna cut here in about a minute, and gonna take 5, and then be back at about 12:30 if you still wanted to join us. We're gonna shift over to Blown Pistons.
Hey, sweetheart, grab my number or something. You wanted me to come down and do that concrete? I'll do it.
Well, that'll be
teach
awesome. Yeah, that's perfect because I've sketched out everything in my head and measured and,
No, you got a pen?
I don't because I'm driving.
We'll take care of giving her your number. That way it's not said over the air,
No,
Kenny.
I don't give a shit. No one's going to call me.
You'd be surprised. So, that being said, Davia, love you. Thank you for coming on. Are you going to join us here in a couple minutes for Blown Pistons?
Absolutely. I'll be here.
All right. We'll talk to you in a few.
Later, sweetheart.
Later.
Bye, guys. Later.
Peace out, kids.
Man, I got to find a can of Copenhagen, like, before I choke you.